Hello, Metaverse. How are you today? I hope you all stay healthy and happy with all of your family amidst the pandemic. Beware that despite the term of new normal that we keep hearing around us right now, it does not mean that the pandemic has ended. So keep following all the suggested protocols, and keep having the hope that the pandemic will end soon. Once again, this meetup program is brought to you by the English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret. And this meetup program can be accessed through our YouTube channel over here, and also through Anchor at Spotify.com as our podcast. So please do subscribe to follow our update on the academic setting session and public voices session. And I'm Taufik Al-Ma'mun, the host of the meetup program. Well, as you may have taken any attention to the virtual background right now behind me.
Wow.
Yes, it is the background of the ICCoLLiC conference, which was just held by the English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences on the last 8 to 9 September 2020. So it was just this week, right? So right now, I bring the conference to you in the meetup program. As we had the discussion with the chairwoman of the ICCoLLiC conference, Dr. Diah Ayunila Krishna, on the last week meetup program. So I would like again to let you know that ICCoLLiC stands for the International Conference on Communication, Language, Literature, and Culture. The conference is planned to be held annually and organized by the English Department of Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret in Solo. The event is designed to become an annual conference, making room for scholars and practitioners, as well as academicians for sure, in the area of communication, language, literature, and culture to share their knowledge, expertise, and also recent research in the field of the studies. So as we had 3 international keynote speakers from UK, India, and also Malaysia, in addition to 4 speakers coming from Indonesia, I would like to bring them to you all, meetuppers, in the series of meetup special edition taken from the ICCoLLiC Conference 2020 held by the English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret. So right now, in this edition, here, one of our keynote speakers in the last ICCoLLiC 2020. So I would like to bring the academic presentation delivered by Dr. Fitria Ahmeti Primasida, SSMA, who is also the head of our English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret. Oh, by the way, the moderator was also me. So, meetuppers, please enjoy the academic presentation by Dr. Fitria Ahmeti Primasida, SSMA. The academic presentation was recorded in Zoom from the ICCoLLiC 2020 conference, the International Conference on Communication, Language, Literature, and Culture, held by the English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret. Enjoy the academic presentation.
And we already have with us Dr. Fitria Ahmeti Primasida. So she is the head department of English Department, Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Sebelas Maret, the department which holds the ICCoLLiC 2020. So she finished her doctoral degree in 2019 from American Studies Doctorate Program of Gadjah Mada University in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. And her major interest is in American studies, cultural studies, and also women's studies. And her 2 latest publications include an introduction to the police procedural, a sub-genre of the detective genre in journal Humaniora, and also the perception toward the construction of women's body and sexuality in the video clips of Indonesian women pop singers, such the Journal of the Southeast Asia Research Center for Communication and Humanities. She has also been active, joining many conferences during the last 5 years. So now I would like to pass floors to Dr. Fitria Ahmeti Primasida, who would like to talk about the new American Studies research in the era of the new media, reading the rewriting of the female detective protagonist of The Closer, the NT 2005 until 2012. in the closer fan fiction. Dr. Fitria, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Taufik. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so yeah, my research is entitled The New American Studies Research in the Era of the New Media, Reading the Rewriting of the Female Detective Protagonists of The Closer, TNT 2005 to 2012, in the Closer fanfiction. So this research that I conducted was actually developed from my dissertation research entitled the same. So it's about the representation of female detective. And then during writing my dissertation, I've become a fan of this TV series, The Closer, and also its lead artist, Kira Sedgwick. And actually, I also like her husband, Kevin Bacon, actor Kevin Bacon. So combined with my growing interest in fan studies, I eventually decided to conduct a research on the Closer fan fiction. Okay, so let's start with this one. The notion that there has been a significant development of American studies as a field of study. So American studies scholars have recognized the existence of the new American studies, which according to Rowe here, you can read it, departed from the traditional emphasis on the internal diversity of the US to the comparative and transnational approach to the many different and constantly changing nations and communities that form the United States. So from this opinion, we can see that the key word to understand the development of American studies is border. So traditional American studies focus on the internal diversity of the US, and the new American studies includes what are beyond the US border. Now, Opperman raised a concern regarding this border. He said that the World Wide Web and digital culture may have become a new border, digitally dividing those who have begun to engage with new technologies in teaching or research or both, from those who tend to ignore or avoid any involvement with new media that goes beyond the use of email and Google. So we need to ask ourselves about this. Okay. In my opinion, to overlook the proliferations of the new media in the 21st century in American studies research negates the fact that American studies today is American studies in the era of the new media. We cannot miss witnessing the transformation of the old media to become new media in the 21st century. Okay, so new media, you can see the pictures here. New media, the characterizations are digital, interactive, hypertextual, virtual, network, and simulated. So on the left side, on the upper left side, we have TV as a new media, and when it changed digital into cable TV, TNT, Turner Network television. And then I'm sure we are all familiar with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But then also we have virtual reality, the one in the bottom. This is for the youngsters. Basically put us in a simulated environment. And then we are really facing this simulated environment. And then also we have games. And last but not least is the internet itself, the World Wide Web. Okay, so the new media proliferation should be taken as expanding data sources availability that requires more accommodating methodology of American studies as a field of study. So in my opinion, research needs to be conducted to fulfill the calling for incorporating the new media in American Studies research. So my research is basically conducted to fulfill this calling. And it is to analyze how the representation of the female detective protagonists of a TV series, The Closer, how it is read by the fan fiction writers, in The Closer fan fictions, and rewriting the female detective protagonists of this TV series as the original text to know what reading position is taken by the writers. This kind of research is I guess, is significant in American studies because, it can lead us to the end objective, which is to understand the life experience of American women. Okay, so this is my methodology. The research was conducted under the New American Studies, combining semiotic, feminist, and audience reception theories. And then the main analysis used the data taken from the sources of data in the form of fiction works found in the Closer fan fiction and the archive of our own, or AO3 site. So the sources of data were sorted and filtered by date posted from 2009 to 2016 to include the Closer female detective protagonist Brenda Lee Johnson and complete works only, and exclude explicit content and crossovers. The main reasons this site was chosen is because it is very active and it has a huge library of fiction works, and also because it has a very sophisticated search engine that makes it very easy to find certain fiction works. Now, this sophisticated research engine is particularly useful for the data collection and selection process. The research engine has made it very easy to pinpoint the exact type of fiction works needed as the data sources of this research. And then I can sort it and filter the sources of data to meet the objective of this research. Okay, so let's move on to the discussion. We need to understand this first, that the cultural representation of the female detective is considered problematic. I put it in quotation marks. I will explain this later, why it is considered problematic. What I can say here is that the police procedural television drama series The Closer, as a masculine cultural text, has successfully transformed into a feminine cultural text by representing its female detective protagonist as a highly masculine protagonist who maintains her feminine sides in doing a male job. And this well-received transformation has expanded the viewer's demographic to include female viewers who eventually give their feminine response, not only in Kira's fan site. Kira is the lead actress, but also in the Closer fan fictions, based on my research. So now let's move on to this. Why The Closer is a masculine text. We need to see that The Closer is a police procedural drama series. So police procedural is one of the variants, the most contemporary variants of detective genre. And detective genre is a masculine genre. So as a variant or its subgenre, the police procedural is also masculine. Why it's masculine? Because in its early development, the heroes of the detective genre were exclusively or almost exclusively white heterosexual male. And scholars consider detective genre as the embodiment of the American male myth, the basic belief and foundation of American society. The detective genre is taken also as a contemporary male epic, with a plotline that revolves around the notion of male sexuality as power, knowledge, entitlement, and the female body as the site of seduction and death. This is very clear in classic detective series, the film noir, noir detective series. The cultural representation of the female detective always involved the questions of how to represent the women as authorities who hold a gun but still have popular appeal. And therefore, it requires certain textual strategies that are confined within the ideologies of femininity to solve the problems around issues of gender role and female sexuality. So, because it's a masculine text, when the text has women as the leading role or as the protagonist, then there will be problems around issues of gender role and female sexuality that needs to be solved, that at least needs to be balanced. The Police Prejudice Drama series, The Closer, as a masculine text, successfully transformed into a feminine cultural text by representing a very distinct female detective protagonist. Usually, most female detective protagonists, they have a very masculine appearance also, to mirror their job, which is a male job. Okay, and then let's move on to the main analysis of my research, which is the Closer fan fiction. I say that the Closer fan fiction is the celebration of femininity. Now, there are 10 ways to rewrite a TV series for fan fiction writers. But the writers in this fan fiction employed recontextualization and then expansion of the series timeline, and then emotional intensification and eroticization also. In employing recontextualization, the writers wrote short vignettes or missing scenes, which filled in the gaps in the broadcast material and provided additional explanation for the character's conduct. And then in expanding the series timeline, the writers fully explored the hints or suggestions about the character's background provided by the primary text, but not fully explored within the episode. So in expanding the series timeline, the writers can bring the characters into the time when the characters were still young. This is completely outside the series itself. And then also in employing emotional intensification, the writers as fans released episodes where relationships were examined, especially those where characters responded in a caring fashion to the psychological problems, and then professional turning points, and then personality conflicts and physical hurts of other major characters. And also in utilizing eroticization, the writers created mostly slash fiction. Especially female/female or F/F or fem/. This is what it's called. In which the homosocial desires of the series female characters erected into homoerotic passion. Okay. So let's move with this, the finding. So the writers recontextualized an episode, and at the same time, they employed emotional intensification technique to represent the character's response to the psychological problem of another character in the episode. This emotional intensification technique allows the writer to deeply explore the female detective protagonist's emotional states. So this is where it can be said that the Closer fan fiction or the writers in the closer fan fiction celebrate femininity, because when we delve into emotional states of a character, then it is said that it's very feminine. Men are always related to something logical, and women will be related to something emotional. Stereotypes in our society. So this is one of the findings. The title is Getting Back, and written by Mama Floof. So every writer in this fan fiction use alias. So Mama Floof dia recontextualize episode 3 of season 2 titled Sleeping. In here, the female detective protagonist is represented in a private domestic sphere of her home. So in this way, her feminine qualities there are well explored. Because it is in the home, it is in the sphere of women. It is female spheres. And the emotional intensification technique was used to represent Brenda, the main character, respond to her husband, Fritz's upset and annoyed feeling to be forced to temporarily leave Brenda's house and put all of his stuff in a rented U-Haul. So in the original episode, it's about it's besides telling about Brenda's effort to solve crimes, it also centers on the situation where Brenda got a visit from her mother, and she didn't want her mother to know that she and her boyfriend had lived together in one house. So that's why her boyfriend at that time, not yet husband. So he needed to go out of the house temporarily and put all of his stuff in a rented U-Haul. This is really funny, actually, when watching this, but it's full of stereotypical conditions. Okay. And then one of the reader's response shows that the writer has successfully met the reader's expectation of how the female protagonist should be represented in the fan fiction works. This is from Jenny Loves Castle. Okay, the name is unique. Great story, I loved it, and totally in character. Thanks for writing. So totally in character. So the readers also it signifies that the reader here enjoys reading this really female detective. Okay, and then the emotional intensification. This is the next finding, is the emotional intensification technique, which really well in the femme slash fiction works. Then Brenda Lee Johnson and Sharon Rader were the most chosen and well received pair for the following reason. So Brenda Lee Johnson is the main character, and Sharon Rader in the beginning was her nemesis, because she's from the FID. So its task is to scrutinize, to analyze Brenda Lee Johnson's decisions, whether it's against the law or not. So these two were the most chosen and well received because the incident that involved Rader and Brenda's professional life were full of moments of narrative crisis. Because she needs to prove and also protects Brenda from lawsuit. So that's why it's full of narrative crisis. And also, it's because fans got lots of opportunity to release Brenda episodes where Brenda's and Sharon's relationship was examined, especially those where Sharon responded in a caring fashion to Brenda's psychological problems, professional turning points, or personality conflicts and physical hurts. All of this, in the series, And then when the represented relationship was sexual, the writer tends to use or tends to employ eroticization technique. Yeah. So we will read this. Yeah. In many of the femme/fiction that involve both romance and sex. Yeah. Okay. Sex. I have to mention this. Yeah, because this is my finding. Yeah, it's based on data. So Brenda and Sharon are represented in the private domestic sphere of their home. And thus it is their feminine qualities again that are well explored. Yeah, so in many of these pamphlets, they are represented spending their night together, watching TV, eating pizza, and really this is what we really read. Yeah, and then sipping a cup of coffee or a glass of Merlot, cooking, having breakfast, and then just talking before and after having the S. So here are the examples. Yeah, a night like this, you know, a night like this. So we can see it from the title. Yeah, and then balcony, chocolate covered you, and all things nice. And then how about if the pamphlets took the public sphere of the office? It turned out that the plot of the sequence of events also revolved around personal matters more than office matters. Yeah. Now here are the examples. And Ding Dong and Doors. You know, the title also is unique because Ding Dong is favorite Brenda's favorite snack. Yeah. It's wrapped in a tin foil, and then like you know, every time she wants to release her stress, she always indulge in ding dongs. Yeah, so this is picked up as a title. Yeah? Ding Dong and Doors. This ends with how Brenda's need to indulge herself in ding dong chocolate to release her stress after her interview for the LAPD chief of police. So this is the highest rank, yeah, in LAPD, was miraculously gone after she kissed Sharon. Yeah, so this is what we read, yeah, in the fan fiction works, yeah. And then also in Like a Heartbeat Drives You Mad, yeah, by Miss Parker, 5 chapters, yeah. It's about Brenda's and Sharon's undercover task as a couple. So you can imagine as a couple, so it's mean like they become lesbians, yeah. And then because you control the floodgates, yeah. So this picks up Brenda's and Sharon hostile relationship by representing their banter, but then changes them into romantic hints, yeah, of attractions to each other. Now, the following comments, yeah, can well represent the reader's good responses. Hi, I'm in Brenda and Sharon hell, and it's all your fault. This is so good. Yeah, so it's really, this is how they write it, yeah, down. I love the domesticity. So they mention this. I love the domesticity and the tension and so on, yeah. And then the other one from Dominic, I enjoyed that you kept them true to their character. Yeah, so all changes were smooth and credible. It's not a happy girly story. So it is a girly story. Only it's not happy. Yeah, but the readers can see that it is a girly story. So femininity also is celebrated through exploring not only the feminine side, but also the feminine vulnerabilities, yeah, of the female detective protagonist, yeah, in this fiction work. Yeah, for example, that pink cardigan must go, yeah, in which the writer pick up Brenda's feminine appearance and her sweet tooth problem, yeah, in the series, and rewriting the character and her characterization. Yeah. So Brenda's appearance is really feminine, yeah, and it's really distinct from the other female detective protagonists on television. Yeah. And then also we have Kitty. Yeah. There's a Kitty is Brenda's cat. Yeah. So it's picked up also as a title here. Yeah. This is narrating Brenda in her vulnerable condition. Yeah. So one of the comments also signifies that the exploration fits her expectation. I absolutely love this series, yeah. And then perfect characterization, storyline, description, yeah, just completely all around perfection. So the perfect characterization, yeah, in the pamphlets signifies the way the television representation of Brenda and Sharon were read by the fan fiction writers. Yeah. In the pamphlets, particularly, Sharon is represented with a more masculine characterization, while Brenda is with a more feminine characterization. It can be clearly perceived, more clearly perceived in some example, in which Sharon is represented as Brenda's savior. Although Brenda is Brenda is the deputy chief of police, is the lead character. But here, Brenda is represented as being saved by Sharon. The example is here, in that phase. Sharon saved Brenda by shooting the criminal who pointed a gun to Brenda in her house. In the actual episode, Brenda defended herself, by shooting the criminal. And then in zombie alternate universe, so we have also alternate universe. The universe outside the series. Sharon saved Brenda and her team from zombies, and then became the female hero. Okay, so in the TV series, although Brenda is conspicuously represented as a brilliant interrogator and an effective team leader, her feminine look, demeanor, and utterance are as conspicuous, so that she is seen as an integrated heroine. But upon my closer analysis to the juxtaposition of the scenes, the development of the character, the plot line, the female detective protagonist's feminine sides and vulnerabilities are represented to counterbalance her masculine qualities so that her feminine image stays strong. So this can explain why Brenda's image tends to be more feminine than Sharon's, and apparently it was the image that was read by fan fiction writers. Okay, so from that findings, we can conclude that the fan fiction writers and their readers took a similar dominant reading position of the representation of the female detective protagonist of the Closer TV series with the other female viewers of the series. It is shown from the maintaining of the female detective protagonist basic characterizations, which tends to be feminine, and the rewriting of the character. And as a result, the female detective protagonist feminine sides and vulnerabilities were explored more, in her representation. So what does it mean, with this taking the dominant reading position? So it means that together with the other fans, the fan fiction writers and then readers share the same ideologies of femininity with the producer of the Closer TV series, in taking the pleasures of recognizing themselves and their own life experience of watching a badass but still a woman play center stage in a masculine television procedural drama series, and of participating in a shared women's culture while viewing, writing, and reading the representation on TV series and in the fan fiction books. So, however, unaware these fans of having complied with what is accepted as normal for women in American society, in this way, the ideologies of femininity is continuously maintained in the life experience of American women. Thank you. I'll give it back to you, Pak Taufik.
So, meetupers, that's the end of our meetup today. Did you enjoy the academic presentation? Did you get the new insight about the new American studies, especially in the area of new media, presented by Dr. Fitria Amerti Primasida just now? So, do subscribe to our YouTube channel to have new update from the ICCoLLiC series, and I will come back next week with a meetup with a special edition series from the ICCoLLiC 2020 with more academic speech taken from the conference. Thank you for your attention. I'm Taufik Al Mahmoon. I'll see you in the next program. Bye-bye.